Imagine this. Frank was 78 years old, a proud veteran, a retired mechanic, and the kind of guy who could light up any room with his laugh. For decades, he was the soul of every gathering, whether it was a backyard barbecue, a church event, or the local bowling league. People loved being around Frank. He had stories, charm, and that old-school spark that made everyone feel welcome. But one day, something changed. Suddenly, people weren't laughing as much when he spoke. They weren't leaning in to hear his jokes. In fact, they were literally taking a step back. Frank noticed it, and it hit him like a truck. At first, he blamed it on the times. Maybe people were just too glued to their phones. Or maybe his old friends were just too busy these days. That's what he told himself. But deep down, something didn't feel right. It wasn't until one summer afternoon, during a neighborhood cookout, that the truth slapped him in the face. Frank walked up to his buddy Dan, who he hadn't seen in months. He went in for a warm handshake and a shoulder pat like always. But Dan flinched. He stepped back. His eyes darted around like he was trying to escape. Frank's stomach dropped. This wasn't a one-time thing. It had been happening for months. He just didn't want to admit it. Later that night, Frank sat at the kitchen table, confused, hurt, and a little angry. That's when his daughter, Susan, walked in. She hesitated, then gently said something that changed everything. "Dad, I love you, but have you noticed people keeping their distance lately? It might be your breath." Frank froze. His breath? He was crushed, embarrassed, horrified. But Susan didn't say it to hurt him, she said it because she cared. She handed him a new mouthwash, some sugar-free mints, and a big bottle of water. That night, Frank went down a rabbit hole of research. And what he found shocked him. Did you know that as we age, our bodies start working against us in subtle, embarrassing ways? One of the most common, and least talked about, is dry mouth. It sounds innocent enough, right? But here's the truth, dry mouth is one of the biggest causes of chronic bad breath, and it gets worse as we get older. Why? Because aging slows down saliva production. And without enough saliva, bacteria multiply like crazy in your mouth, creating a foul, persistent odor you might not even notice, but others do. Frank was horrified. He also learned that dehydration makes bad breath and body odor even worse. Wearing the same clothes multiple times without washing builds up bacteria and makes you smell worse over time. Metabolism and digestion slow with age, changing your body chemistry, and not always for the better. And get this, even mouthwash with alcohol can dry out your mouth and make things worse. Frank was dealing with a perfect storm of silent hygiene sabotage. No wonder people were stepping back. But here's what made Frank different. He didn't let shame paralyze him. He took action. The next morning, he drank a full glass of water before breakfast. He started carrying sugar-free gum in his shirt pocket and sipped water throughout the day. He tossed out his old alcohol-based mouthwash and replaced it with an alcohol-free formula that freshened his breath without drying his mouth out. He bought breathable cotton shirts, rotated his deodorant brands, and started doing something most people never think about. He washed his baseball caps, scarves, and bed sheets every week. He even chewed parsley after meals, an old-school trick for natural freshness. It took a few days, but the difference? Stunning. At the next church gathering, Frank walked in like usual. But this time, people didn't step back. They leaned in. They smiled. They lingered. Conversations went longer. Laughter flowed again. Someone even said, "Frank, I swear you look younger today." He didn't, he just smelled better. He felt confident again. And confidence? That's magnetic. Frank's story is powerful, but it's not rare. Millions of older adults are being quietly distanced, not because of who they are, but because of how they smell. And most of them have no idea. They blame age. They blame other people. But the truth? Your presence can be destroyed by tiny habits that no one talks about. And the most tragic part? It's all preventable. If you've ever felt like people don't want to be around you as much, please don't ignore it. It's not about shame. It's about awareness. Here's what Frank would tell you today: drink more water. Dehydration is the silent killer of freshness. Use alcohol-free mouthwash. Traditional ones dry your mouth and worsen the problem. Chew sugar-free gum. It kickstarts saliva and kills odor naturally. Wash your clothes and your hats more often. Bacteria build up fast, especially on sweat-prone fabrics. Switch up your deodorants. Your body adapts to products over time. Wear breathable fabrics. Let your skin breathe, especially in warmer months. If you've made it this far, remember this: Frank didn't lose his spark. He just needed a reminder that his habits mattered more now than ever before. Aging doesn't mean fading away. And sometimes, the smallest adjustments can lead to the biggest comebacks. Just like Frank's. Let's rip the Band-Aid off right now. Aging doesn't just give you gray hair and sore knees, it can wreck your hygiene in ways nobody warned you about. And no, we're not talking about being the little sweaty or forgetting to floss. We're talking about smells that make people back away. We're talking about body odors that sneak up on you, cling to your clothes, your furniture, your identity, and worst of all, you might not even notice them. But others? Oh, they notice. And they remember. The sad truth is, hygiene after 60 becomes a whole new battlefield, and most people are losing the fight without even realizing it. Here's the uncomfortable reality: as we age, the rules of hygiene change. Your body chemistry shifts. Your skin, your mouth, even your digestive system, they all start betraying you in small, sneaky ways. And if you're not adapting, you're decaying. Literally. Aging skin produces different oils, heavier, more pungent. Your sweat glands change. Your metabolism slows down. Your ability to sweat properly? Compromised. That means toxins, oils, and bacteria can sit on your skin longer, building up in places like your neck, armpits, feet, and groin. If you're still showering every other day like you did in your 30s, you're playing a dangerous game. And the price? Isolating, humiliating, and completely avoidable. But wait, it gets worse. Let's talk about a silent, stinking killer: dry mouth. It sounds so minor, right? But dry mouth is one of the top causes of chronic bad breath in older adults. Why? Because aging reduces saliva production, and saliva is what keeps the bacteria in your mouth from going nuclear. Without it, your mouth becomes a breeding ground for sulfur-producing bacteria, the kind that causes breath so foul, it can fill a room before you even say hello. And don't think a quick swish of mouthwash will fix it. In fact, if your mouthwash contains alcohol, it's making it worse. Alcohol dries out your mouth even more, intensifying the problem you're trying to solve. It's a vicious cycle, and it's silently destroying conversations, relationships, and confidence. Here's another hygiene shocker: clothing and fabrics become weapons against you as you age. You might not notice the odor trapped in your favorite shirt or your everyday recliner, but trust me, others do. Older adults tend to wear the same comfortable clothing day after day, and while that may feel cozy, it's also letting bacteria and sweat fester. Your clothes are absorbing your body's scent and throwing it back at the world like a punch to the face. Even worse? Hats, scarves, pillowcases, and bedsheets. These are odor sponges. And if you're not washing them at least once a week, they're turning your home into a subtle war zone of sour smells and stale energy. Harsh? Yes. True? 100%. Let's go deeper. The foods you loved in your 40s? They're now messing with your internal chemistry in ways you never expected. Aging affects digestion, and poor digestion leads to body odor. Spicy foods, red meat, fried snacks, even some dairy products, they can ferment differently in your gut now. That fermentation creates gas, bloating, and believe it or not, a change in how your entire body smells. People might say they smell something off and not realize it's coming from your skin. You'll feel judged, confused, alone, and you won't even know why. And don't even get us started on feet. Aging feet are often neglected, but they're odor factories if not taken care of. Toenail fungus, dead skin buildup, bacteria hiding in old socks and shoes. This is prime territory for stench. If you haven't bought a new pair of shoes in 5 years and your toenails haven't seen a professional since the Reagan administration, it's time to act. People might not say anything to your face, but they smell it. They avoid it. And slowly, they begin to avoid you. It's not just about smell, it's about presence. Aging affects how you show up in the world. If you walk into a room and people shift away, if conversations are getting shorter, if invitations stop coming, there's a reason. And it might not be your personality, it could be your hygiene. That's the brutal truth nobody wants to say out loud. And we get it, talking about hygiene can feel shameful. But ignoring it? That's even worse. That's how isolation creeps in. That's how confidence dies. And for what? Because no one told you that your hygiene habits needed to evolve? Well, now you know. So here's how to fight back. 1. Drink more water. Dehydration is the #1 trigger for dry mouth and body odor. Aim for at least 8 glasses a day. Not soda. Not coffee. Water. 2. Switch to alcohol-free mouthwash. You need moisture in your mouth, not a chemical desert. Alcohol-based rinses are doing more harm than good. 3. Chew sugar-free gum. It stimulates saliva, kills bacteria, and freshens breath naturally. Keep it in your pocket. Always. 4. Change your clothes daily and rotate your wardrobe. Comfort is great, but so is cleanliness. And for the love of all things holy, wash your hats and socks. 5. Deep clean your home fabrics. That throw blanket on your couch? It's a smell trap. Wash it. Air it out. Start fresh. 6. Pay attention to your diet. Avoid foods that make you gassy, bloated, or excessively sweaty. Your body is talking to you, listen. 7. Take foot care seriously. Clip your nails. Exfoliate dead skin. Switch shoes regularly. Don't let your feet be the reason someone walks away. 8. Use antibacterial body wash. Older skin is thinner and can harbor more bacteria. Regular soap might not cut it anymore. This isn't about vanity. This is about dignity. It's about making sure that your presence, the real you, isn't being overshadowed by preventable, fixable hygiene issues. You deserve to be heard, to be respected, and to be welcomed. Don't let a few overlooked habits rob you of that. Because here's the truth, growing older doesn't mean becoming invisible. But if your hygiene slips, so does your influence, your impact, your connection. So take control. Shock everyone, especially yourself, with how fresh, clean, and confident you can be. You're not too old to improve. You're just one decision away from smelling like $1,000,000 and feeling like a legend. Let's not sugarcoat it, aging can be brutal. One day you're full of energy, smelling fresh, feeling sharp, and the next, you're wondering why people are stepping away mid-conversation. You're noticing odd looks. You're feeling invisible. Or worse, repulsive. But here's the part no one ever tells you. It's not always aging that's the problem. It's what you're not doing to fight it. Because here's the shocking truth, tiny, almost stupidly simple hygiene changes can completely transform how others see you and how you see yourself. We're talking confidence, respect, and presence. And the kicker? Most people ignore these fixes. They live out their later years being low-key avoided, quietly judged, even pitted, when they could have just done a few small things that would have flipped the script entirely. Let's start with a horrifying reality. The human body produces a unique chemical compound as it ages called 2-nonenal, and it smells awful. It's not the smell of sweat or dirt. It's something deeper, mustier, almost greasy. You don't smell it on yourself, but others absolutely do. It clings to your clothes, your bedding, your skin. It says one thing: I'm old and I've given up. But here's the shocker: you can neutralize that scent with one easy swap. Switch your soap. Regular drugstore bars aren't cutting it. You need a body wash designed for mature skin, packed with antibacterial and odor-fighting ingredients. It costs maybe $10, but the difference it makes in how people respond to you? Priceless. It's like wiping away 10 years of judgment with a single shower. And don't think a fresh shirt is enough to mask that smell either. Because here's another truth bomb: your clothes are lying to you. That comfy old t-shirt you love? It's a sponge of skin oils, bacteria, and environmental funk. Even after you wash it, if it's old, those smells linger. They come alive with your body heat. That's why people lean back during hugs. That's why someone flinched when you sat next to them at church. It's not in your head. But the solution? Simple: get rid of clothes over 2 years old, especially ones you wear often. And always wash your laundry with white vinegar or baking soda once a week. These aren't just hacks, they're hygiene lifelines that could save you from becoming the person people whisper about behind your back. Let's keep going. Your mouth, the gateway to your social life, is betraying you every time you speak. You might think you have decent breath. You brush twice a day. You floss, sometimes. But here's the dirty truth: if you're over 60 and you're not using a tongue scraper, your breath could be driving people away without you realizing it. Most bad breath doesn't come from your teeth, it comes from your tongue, where bacteria festers in layers like rotten lasagna. One $5 tool. 10 seconds a day. That's it. You want people to lean in when you talk? You want your grandkids to hug you tighter? Start with your breath. And now for one of the most overlooked and grossest secrets of all: your ears and nose are growing hair like weeds, and it's turning people off. Yes, it's natural. Yes, it happens to everyone. But no, it's not okay to ignore it. Stray nose hairs aren't just unattractive, they can trap odors. Ears filled with hair? They collect wax and bacteria, and that combination stinks. People might not say it, but when they look away or avoid close contact, this is one of the reasons why. The solution? Invest in a nose/ear trimmer. Takes 2 minutes a week. Removes years of shame. Costs less than a takeout meal. Again, simple, but massively powerful. You ready for something even more shocking? Not washing your feet properly is one of the top reasons older adults develop a funk that follows them like a shadow. Most people rinse their feet in the shower and think that's enough. It's not. Your feet are trapped in socks and shoes all day, building up bacteria, sweat, and dead skin. You need to scrub them daily, especially between the toes. And once a week, soak them in warm water with Epsom salt and apple cider vinegar. It kills odor-causing bacteria, softens skin, and keeps toenail fungus at bay. Think that's an old wives' tale? Ask anyone who's had to deal with fungal foot odor, they'll wish they'd started soaking sooner. Let's not stop there. What about your home? Because believe it or not, your house can betray you just as much as your body can. That couch you've had since 2002? It's filled with skin cells, oils, pet dander, and invisible stink. That recliner you nap in every afternoon? It may smell like comfort to you, but it smells like stale human to guests. Same with throw pillows, blankets, even curtains. You've got to wash or replace fabric items regularly. Get an air purifier. Vacuum with a HEPA filter. Light citrus-scented candles. You don't need a mansion, you just need a home that smells like life, not decay. Still with me? Good. Because this last one is the most critical of all, and no one talks about it. Hydration. Dehydration in seniors isn't just dangerous, it ruins your hygiene. Your mouth gets drier, your skin produces more odor-causing oils, and your body has a harder time flushing out toxins. That means your breath stinks, your skin smells stronger, and you generally feel sticky. You might not even notice it until someone subtly pulls away from you. But here's the fix: drink a full glass of water every hour you're awake. Not soda. Not coffee. Water. Add lemon slices if you need to flavor it. But make hydration a priority, and your body will start detoxing from the inside out. So why does all this matter? Because you deserve to feel powerful in your skin at any age. You deserve to walk into a room and be met with smiles, not nose crinkles. You deserve hugs that last, conversations that go deeper, respect that's freely given, not forced out of politeness. These little hygiene hacks? They're not just about being clean. They're about reclaiming your dignity, your confidence, your presence. Don't be the person people feel sorry for. Be the one they admire, because you took control when others gave up. Simple steps. Massive difference. That's how you age on your terms. Let's be brutally honest, most people don't realize they're being quietly rejected. You walk into a room, and the air seems to change. People keep conversations short. Someone offers you gum too quickly. Another slowly steps back mid-sentence. You laugh it off, blame it on their mood, but deep down, something feels off. That's not paranoia. That's not your imagination. That's real. And here's the shocking truth: poor hygiene, especially as we age, is one of the most silent relationship killers in America today. It's not just about smell. It's about how people perceive your value, your health, your worth. This isn't just about hygiene. This is about dignity, self-respect, and how the world sees you after 60. Most older adults don't know they've crossed a line until it's too late. Until they've become that person, the one no one wants to sit next to, hug, or invite again. And what makes this worse? Most of it could be completely avoided with just a few intentional actions. Here's a horrifying reality: you might be clean but still smell old. That old person smell isn't about dirt or sweat. It's a chemical compound your body starts producing more of after age 40, 2-nonenal. And it smells musty, greasy, almost sour. You can't detect it yourself, but others definitely can. It clings to your skin, your furniture, your clothing, your pillowcases. It doesn't matter how polished you look, when people get close, that smell tells them a completely different story. It screams neglect. It screams, "I've stopped caring." And even worse, it screams, "I'm fading away." And the harsh truth is, people respond to that without even realizing it. They back off. They avoid eye contact. They remember the odor more than your words. And if that doesn't punch you in the gut, it should. Because if you're being judged, you better be judged for who you are, not how you smell. Why does this matter so much? Because relationships are oxygen in your later years. You can survive without a job. You can survive without a car. But you cannot thrive without connection. Family visits, community gatherings, Sunday service, birthday parties, these are lifelines. But here's the kicker: people slowly pull away from what makes them uncomfortable. And bad hygiene? That's at the top of the list. They'll never tell you directly. No one wants to hurt your feelings. So they'll just fade. They'll say they're busy. They'll call less. Visit less. Invite less. And suddenly, you're isolated. Not because of who you are, but because of what you unknowingly project. That's why it matters. It's not about being pretty. It's about staying welcome in the spaces that matter most. Let's talk about romance. Yes, romance after 60 is still a thing. And if you think love and attraction are reserved for the young, think again. There are millions of older adults who are dating, flirting, falling in love, and you could be one of them. But you know what kills a connection faster than a bad date? A bad odor. Dry, flaky skin. Hair growing out of ears. Stale breath. You could be charming, funny, kind, but if your hygiene says, "I've given up," then all of that goes out the window. That person you could have danced with, dined with, shared stories with, they'll never know what they missed. Because all they'll remember is how they felt around you, and bad hygiene triggers discomfort, rejection, even disgust. And once that first impression is made, it's nearly impossible to reverse. Think about that next time you pass on trimming your nose hair or using deodorant that actually works. And here's something even more shocking. Your hygiene doesn't just affect others, it affects your own mental health. Studies show that older adults with poor hygiene habits are more likely to suffer from low self-esteem, anxiety, and depression. Why? Because when you don't feel fresh, clean, and confident, you stop showing up fully. You stop speaking up in groups. You stop seeking connection. You isolate yourself. And when the invitations stop coming, when the calls stop ringing, when the loneliness creeps in, you start believing you're the problem. You're not. The problem is fixable. It's not your personality. It's not your value. It's odor. It's appearance. It's simple hygiene practices that build or destroy how you relate to the world. Let's go deeper. Think about your legacy. What do you want your children, your grandchildren, your friends to remember about you? Do you want to be remembered as the loving, vibrant, dignified soul who always looked sharp and smelled fresh? Or do you want to be remembered as someone who slowly let go of themselves, whose presence became a burden rather than a blessing? Because yes, it really does matter. Those memories they carry? They're formed by senses. Touch, smell, presence. And every time you show up clean, crisp, confident, you're telling them, I still care. I'm still here. I'm still me. So how do you turn it around? You start today. You take inventory. You ask yourself the hard, even painful, questions. Do my clothes still smell fresh after washing? Is my breath fresh after brushing? Am I washing all the places that matter? Feet, groin, armpits, behind the ears, under the breasts? Am I using soap and products designed for mature skin? When was the last time I cleaned my furniture, aired out my home, trimmed my nose hairs, deep cleaned my dentures or toothbrush? These aren't vanity rituals. These are survival tools. Social survival. Emotional survival. And yes, relationship survival. Because at the end of the day, hygiene isn't just about being clean. It's about being seen. It's about being respected, being loved, being accepted. It's about stepping into every room with your head high, knowing that no one is pulling away, because there's no reason to. No lingering smell. No silent judgment. Just you, fully alive, fully present, and fully in control of your story. So take back control. Wash intentionally. Groom with pride. Keep your space fresh. Smell like you belong. Because you do. And don't ever let a fixable thing, like hygiene, be the reason the world forgets how much you matter. Let's face a disturbing truth, time is ruthless. One day you're sharp, vibrant, full of plans and promises, and the next, you're forgotten. Not out of malice, but out of quiet neglect. And here's the gut-wrenching part, you don't even realize it's happening. Aging doesn't announce itself with a grand parade, it creeps in. Slowly. Silently. First, it's just a name you forget. Then a small limp in your step. A scent you can't smell but others can. Fewer calls. Shorter visits. Fading glances. Until one day, the mirror doesn't show you who you used to be, it reflects a stranger. And yet, the most shocking part? It doesn't have to be this way. We live in a society that tells us after 60, we're supposed to disappear. Retire. Shrink. Get quiet. And most people believe that lie. They surrender. Let themselves go. Stop washing as often. Stop caring about their clothes. Stop brushing properly. What's the point? They whisper to themselves. But here's the cold, brutal truth. The moment you stop caring for your appearance, your hygiene, your dignity, is the moment the world starts forgetting you. Not because you're older, but because you're fading by choice. You're teaching people how to treat you by how you treat yourself. And if that doesn't shake you to your core, it should. Because this life, it's not over. Not even close. Take a look around. The people still living full, powerful, unforgettable lives in their 60s, 70s, 80s, and beyond, they have one thing in common: they refuse to go quietly. They groom. They show up. They smell fresh. Their skin glows. Their clothes fit right. They are seen. And you know what? They demand respect without ever saying a word. Why? Because they've mastered the art of caring. Not just about how they look, but about what that look says to the world. And this isn't vanity. This is survival. This is emotional warfare against loneliness, invisibility, and isolation. Let's talk about how hygiene is tied to the very fabric of who we are. You think it's just about looking good? Wrong. It's about sending a signal: I still have value. I still matter. I still want connection. But when your body odor enters the room before you do, when your teeth are yellowed, when your nails are dirty, when your breath makes people flinch, you're not saying I matter. You're saying I've given up. And sadly, people believe you. They stop reaching out. They stop sitting next to you. They find polite reasons to keep distance. And suddenly, your world shrinks, and you don't even realize it's happening. Now here comes the painful part: people won't tell you. No one wants to say, your hygiene is making people uncomfortable. So they'll ghost you instead. They'll say they're too busy. They'll skip your invitations. They'll send a quick text instead of visiting. And one by one, your connections slip through your fingers. Not because you're unlovable, but because of something completely preventable. And this is the part no one warns you about. Your legacy is built in moments. Moments with family, friends, community, and hygiene determines if those moments happen or not. If you're welcomed or quietly pushed away. Let's go deeper. What do you want your grandchildren to remember? That grandparent who hugged them with fresh-smelling arms, warm cookies, and a clean home? Or the one whose breath was stale, whose clothes had that musty scent, whose presence made them squirm? These things matter. Not because kids are cruel, but because they remember. Forever. The smells. The energy. The emotions tied to it all. You're not just living your life now, you're writing the memories your family will carry for the rest of their lives. Let that sink in. And here's something absolutely soul-crushing. Your mental health is being held hostage by your hygiene. Studies have shown time and again that when older adults stop caring for themselves, it's a fast track to depression, anxiety, and even cognitive decline. Why? Because when you look in the mirror and see someone falling apart, you believe it. You start acting like it. You start speaking less, laughing less, living less. You isolate. You stop showing up to church, birthdays, events. Not because no one loves you, but because you no longer feel lovable. And what triggered it all? The small things. The unwashed sheets. The neglected toothbrush. The skipped showers. That's the kind of power hygiene holds over our minds, our hearts, our futures. But here's the most jaw-dropping truth of all: you can change this. Today. Right now. You can flip the narrative. You can walk into a room and command attention with freshness, sharpness, vitality. You can make people want to be near you, talk to you, hug you, laugh with you. It's not too late. You don't need plastic surgery. You don't need to be a fashion icon. You just need to care. Truly care. Enough to trim your nails, scrub your feet, clean your ears, freshen your breath, moisturize your skin. Buy soap designed for aging skin. Use deodorant that works. Open your windows. Wash your clothes regularly. Vacuum your space. Change your sheets. Take pride in yourself, not just for others, but for you. Because here's the real deal, you still have life to live. You still have people to meet, joy to feel, hugs to give, wisdom to share, love to make, stories to tell. And your hygiene? That's your invitation. That's your entry ticket to being part of the world instead of a quiet bystander. So don't let yourself disappear. Don't go quietly. Fight for your visibility. Fight for your presence. And shock the world by showing up clean, bold, beautiful, and full of life. You are not done. You are not invisible. But you must act like it. Start by washing away yesterday's neglect and step into tomorrow with pride. Because this world isn't waiting for the perfect version of you. It's waiting for the clean, confident, powerful you that refuses to be forgotten. And it all starts with a bar of soap, a fresh shirt, and a new attitude. Most people walk through life completely unaware that they're slipping, not because of age, but because of what they're ignoring. That ignorance? It's killing their relationships, robbing them of dignity, and slowly pushing them into isolation. The most terrifying part? They don't even see it happening. Every day, thousands of older Americans are being quietly written off, not because they aren't loved, not because they aren't needed, but because of hygiene neglect, plain and simple. Let that sink in. Something as simple as an unwashed body, bad breath, or musty clothes is stealing the joy, respect, and connection they once had. And the worst part? No one's talking about it. No one's warning them. They're walking into emotional and social extinction and smiling through it, completely unaware of the ticking time bomb under their feet. This isn't just about soap and water. This is about self-worth, about pride, about survival. In America today, the most ignored health crisis among seniors isn't heart disease, arthritis, or even dementia. It's the slow decay of personal hygiene and its catastrophic effect on mental health, relationships, and how others perceive you. If that doesn't shake you, it should. Because this is real. It's happening. And it's preventable. Think about it. How many people do you know who used to be vibrant, full of life, center of attention, who now barely leave their house, don't want visitors, avoid mirrors, and shrug off showers like they don't matter anymore? That's not aging. That's surrender. And it starts with a single choice, to stop caring. One skipped shower becomes a week. One stained shirt becomes your daily uniform. One ignored smell becomes your new identity. Before you know it, you've lost control of your presence and your power. You want a hard truth? Here it is. People notice. They notice the odor, the greasy hair, the dirty fingernails, the food-stained clothes. They may not say it, but they feel it. And whether you like it or not, it creates distance. People stop hugging, stop visiting, stop inviting. Why? Because humans are wired to avoid what feels off. It's a biological instinct. You might think, they don't care if I'm a little messy. But deep down, they do. They want to feel safe, clean, uplifted around you. And if your hygiene is slipping, your relationships are too. It's not superficial. It's not mean. It's human nature. And the most painful part? This could all be avoided with a little awareness and a lot of self-love. Here's something no one tells you. The moment you become aware of how hygiene influences your relationships, your health, your confidence, and your legacy, you unlock power. Real power. The kind that changes your trajectory. Because awareness leads to action. Action leads to respect. And respect? That leads to deep, lasting connection. Imagine walking into a room and people leaning in, not away. Smiling, not flinching. Imagine your grandkids racing into your arms instead of looking uncertain. Imagine your partner noticing your fresh scent, your glowing skin, your clean clothes, and feeling desire again. That's not a fantasy. That's what happens when you take back control. That's empowerment through awareness. And it starts with looking at yourself honestly, not with shame, but with bold clarity. We're not saying you need to look like a model. This isn't about vanity, it's about vitality. Clean skin, fresh breath, brushed teeth, washed clothes, groomed hair, trimmed nails. These are weapons. Weapons that fight against the biggest enemy of aging, invisibility. When you care for your hygiene, you're sending a loud, clear message: I'm not done yet. You're refusing to shrink. You're showing up for yourself. And people notice. They respond. They engage. Because deep down, everyone is drawn to energy, and hygiene radiates energy. It tells the world, I'm still in the game. Let's get raw for a second. If you're feeling tired, down, unmotivated, isolated, it might not be just age. It might be how you've been treating yourself. Neglect invites depression, disconnection, brain fog. That's right, when your hygiene declines, your mood, memory, and energy go with it. Studies show a terrifying link between hygiene neglect and mental deterioration in older adults. Not brushing your teeth? You're inviting bacteria that attacks your brain. Not showering regularly? You're increasing the risk of infection and skin disease. Sleeping in dirty clothes or bedding? You're poisoning your rest and your immune system. These aren't small things. These are life-altering decisions made every single day. The kicker? You have the power to flip the switch. Awareness is your weapon. It's the light bulb moment. The fire starter. When you realize that something as simple as a daily hygiene routine can rewire your self-perception, revive your social life, and rebuild your confidence, you begin to live again. Not survive. Live. We're talking morning showers that wake your soul. Clean outfits that make you stand taller. Fresh breath that makes conversation a joy again. Perfume or cologne that reignites intimacy. And the best part? You start loving yourself again. Not just the outside, but the inside too. You deserve to walk into your golden years with pride. With power. With presence. Not as someone fading into the background, but as someone people look up to. Hygiene is your statement. It tells the world, I still have fire in me. So don't let shame keep you quiet. Don't let neglect steal your spotlight. You are not a burden. You are not forgotten. You are not done. But it's up to you to prove it, not with words, but with action. With clean, confident, consistent care. The bottom line is this: your life still matters. Your legacy is still being written. And every act of self-care, every scrub, every brush, every rinse, is a declaration: I choose to live fully. That's what empowerment looks like. Not loud speeches or dramatic changes. Just simple, powerful awareness followed by action. So the next time you walk past the mirror, don't look away. Look straight into your eyes and ask, am I treating myself like someone who still matters? Because you do. You absolutely do. Stop scrolling. This moment right here, this exact second, might be the wake-up call you've been dodging for years. You think this doesn't apply to you? Think again. If you're over 50, over 60, even over 70, you're walking on a razor's edge, whether you know it or not. Every single day, you're making choices that are either extending your life or quietly shortening it. And hygiene? It's not just about looking clean. It's about staying alive, mentally, emotionally, socially, and yes, even physically. Let's be brutally honest here, neglecting yourself isn't humble. It's dangerous. It's the fast track to being forgotten, dismissed, or worse, completely alone. But here's the good news. You can change everything. Right now. Starting with one decision, choose to fight back. You still matter. But if you're not showing up for yourself, why should anyone else? Harsh? Maybe. True? Absolutely. The truth is, we live in a world that's quick to forget the elderly, quick to overlook you, quick to label you as done. But guess what? You're not done. You've still got power. You've still got presence. But you have to demand it. And it starts by refusing to let your body, your home, your spirit fall into decay. You are not meant to fade away quietly. You are meant to stand tall and command attention, respect, love, life. And if you don't take action right now, someone else will write your story. And it won't end how you want it to. So what can you do? Step 1, look in the mirror. Really look. Ask yourself, am I proud of how I'm showing up today? Do I smell clean? Are my teeth brushed? Are my clothes fresh? Is my body healthy, or am I just surviving day by day, hoping no one gets too close? If that stings, good. That pain? That's proof you still care. And that's your fuel. Use it. Because here's what no one tells you. The moment you start to let go of hygiene, it's the beginning of something far scarier, the loss of dignity, of identity, of connection, of self-worth. But it doesn't have to be that way. Not for you. Right now, thousands of seniors across America are locked in silence. They're isolated not because they don't have family, but because they've become too much. Too hard to be around. Too unclean. Too disconnected. And here's the kicker, they didn't even see it coming. It started small. Skipping a shower. Letting laundry pile up. Not trimming nails. Not brushing hair. And suddenly, no one calls anymore. No one visits. The phone stays quiet. The house stays empty. The loneliness sets in. Do you want that to be you? Because if you don't act now, it might be. You want to change your life? You want to be respected, loved, admired, not pitied? Then this is your moment. Take your hygiene back. Take your confidence back. Take your life back. Start simple. A warm shower. Clean sheets. A toothbrush. A fresh shirt. Deodorant. Nail clippers. These aren't luxuries, they're survival tools. Every time you use them, you're screaming, I am still here. And the world hears that scream. It responds. Suddenly, people lean in instead of away. Suddenly, they want to be near you. Listen to you. Spend time with you. And not because you begged, but because you earned their respect. But this movement, this mindset, it can't stop with you. Share this message. Hit that share button like your life depends on it, because someone else's might. Maybe it's your parent, your friend, your neighbor, someone you love who's quietly slipping away while the world looks the other direction. Don't let them fade into darkness. Be the light. Be the voice. Be the one who says, enough is enough. You're not invisible. You just need to remember who you are. Post it. Comment on it. Email it. Print it. Whatever it takes to shake people awake. Because this isn't just about soap and shampoo, it's about saving lives. And if you're reading this thinking, it's too late for me, stop. Right. Now. That's the biggest lie society feeds you. That you're too old to matter. Too far gone to fix it. That your time is up. That is garbage. You've got more fire in you than you know. You just need to stoke it. Reignite it. And that begins with one choice, to care again. To look at your life and say, this is not where I end. This is where I rise. Every person watching this, every senior out there, has a chance to rewrite the final chapter. Will it be about defeat? Or about a comeback? That's on you. Let's make this clear. Cleanliness is not optional. It's not nice to have. It's vital. It's your key to staying mentally sharp, socially relevant, physically healthy, emotionally alive. It prevents disease. It builds confidence. It attracts others. It restores hope. And it gives you back something the world tries to take from you as you age: control. That's what this is really about. You taking the wheel again. You calling the shots. You standing up and saying, "I choose to show up. I choose to shine." And when you do, watch how your world shifts. Watch how people treat you differently. Watch how you feel about yourself again. So here's what I want you to do right now. Get up. Go clean something. Your hands. Your face. Your bathroom. Your sheets. Anything. Start small, but start strong. Then, share this video. Comment "I'm not done yet" if you believe it. If this message hits you in the gut, don't scroll past it. Respond. Be bold. Be loud. Be proud. Because silence is what got us into this mess. And your voice, your action, is what's going to pull us out. This is your fight. Your mission. Your revolution. And to every senior watching this, to every child of a senior, to every caregiver, to every person who refuses to let aging mean vanishing, this is your moment. Rise up. Show up. And prove to the world, and to yourself, that you're still a force to be reckoned with.